of the trainers was talking about the lack of calf raises for some of the players to end their workout. Bro, we used to end a workout, especially on a leg day, calf raises. This is how I'm speeding up, this is how I'm stopping, this is my whole wiggle. If your calves ain't here. And on top of, whenever I go to finish, I gotta be athletic enough to finish, right? Bro, when you start breaking that down, like this is what Ticket talking about, that they out of shape. We practiced every day. We went up and down every day.
Like a game.
Like a game. So we 5-on-5 pretty much the whole season.
With drills.
With drills. And so now they come in and they doing a lot of individual work.
With a trainer.
You know, so a lot of our shit was game speed. Right.
With a trainer.
And then in the...
Let's see what I'm... What's up, yo? Welcome to another episode of VIDWON Reacts. And today we're going to get into the topic of LeBron James. He recently had an interview which he talks about how you can't compare the NBA today from the NBA back then. Which is true, 100%. But the way he tried to make it seem is that in today's era, it's harder to play than back in the days, in the 90s, late 80s. So he's saying, yeah, the thing was more physical back then, but now it's faster. So there's more injuries. And a lot of NBA players, the legends like Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Gilbert Arenas, they weren't with it. They did not enjoy that interview. Because how could you say that you are playing in a better era than in the era of the legends? You understand what I'm saying? I mean, there's legends in every era, but those are your pioneers. And the game was way more physical back then. Let's hear LeBron James talk.
Because the game is different. Like I want people to understand, and our fans to understand, that playing 82 games in the 80s and 90s is not the same as playing 82 games in the 2020s. It's just not. The way we play, the level of pace, the level of the speed that we're playing at, it's a different game now. It's a totally different game. And, it's a lot of soft tissue injuries that's happened now because of it. I hope we can get a handle on that as well.
Soft tissue injuries. Come on, my guy. Back then, you couldn't come in for a layup thinking you was tough. Because there was that one dude waiting for you. They put him in just for that play. You crazy? Yo, bro.
Well,
welcome back to NBA Cinema, guys. So look, we got to talk about this as Paul Pierce has responded to the comments made by LeBron James on his podcast, where he had Tyrese Halliburton, who's battling back from a torn Achilles injury. Him getting back out there, you see the lower calf go, then you see the Achilles go. You see the same thing that happened with KD over there with the Warriors. You're seeing a lot of that now. You see Dame Dollar went down. A lot of people, was it Jason Tatum went down as well. A lot of these soft tissue injuries are occurring, and it's been attributed to the pace. Now, Paul Pierce is going to counter argue that and say that, well, we spent more time fighting through screens, people staying at home. Nowadays on defense, you switch everything. That's why a lot of people get the mismatch they want. You'll see them call for the...
And that's the problem right there. That little pace, and then just trying to run around just to get a three or a good look. That's what's causing those injuries. To me, you over here trying to speed around and run around, trying to change and get the look that you want. Back then, dudes was going in the paint, but it was tough in the paint too.
Screen until they get the mismatch, and then they'll attack. You see that a lot in today's game. But back in the day, you used to have to fight over the screen, call out the screen, run through the screen, whatever. So let's get into Paul Pierce's response, and I'm going to give you my take.
Okay, yeah, there's more movement, right? Let's just say they're circling. In the 2000, we had to fight through picks.
Yeah.
We had to really fight
It's more physical.
on defense.
It was more physical.
So, like,
Okay,
that's
yeah.
harder to do. If I got to, tonight, I got to get through this Patrick Ewing, Anthony Mason pick and roll all night.
It's not harder on your
that's
Achilles,
so many
Paul.
times,
Yeah, mentally it
so
is.
many times I'm bruised up
Yeah.
after the game. I'm my
That's what I'm saying. It was more physical. Nowadays, anything that looks even close to physical, boom, the whistle. Come on, man.
shoulder hurts.
It's definitely
my
more
hip
physical.
is hurting.
So why were more guys playing 75 games a year then?
Because we was tougher. Well, now you're switching everything. So you make up for the running you had to do.
You see? You got to give it to him what he said. He said because we were tougher. But not trying to like make it seem like these guys from today are fucking weak as fuck. No, it was because dudes was built to be tough. Dudes had to play. Dudes had to have that weight on them. You couldn't be no skinny dude in the NBA, bro. You get fucked up.
On defense, for our era, you take that out of their defensive switching everything now. Because you had to stay home on everybody in our era. So you did more running on defense
You
than they
played
do now.
more half court set though. I don't disagree. It was definitely a tougher era. It was definitely more physical.
Yeah.
But this era is more miles. They're getting more miles. They're running more marathons, bro. So like that's why the
just think,
tendons.
yeah,
you having a tendon issue.
I do think they just do more.
So it's more up and down. It's
terms
less
of
half court
physical
set.
work.
Back then
So
it's
that
like
makes it harder?
more pinned down. No,
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's harder. I'm just saying
it's
But
hard
that's
on
what
your
they
body.
it's harder for the tendons.
When I'm switching on defense every time down,
But you're not.
Again,
I'm switching on
No,
defense.
you're not.
He says it's harder for the tendons. Yo, bro. What about going through that defense or going through those pick and rolls back in the days where a dude will fucking physically hold you or straight fucking hit you like boom for the pick? You understand? Nowadays it's just getting in the way and dudes are just running around. Look at the difference. Come on, man. Dudes is softer nowadays. That's what I think.
Now we're
It
watching.
depends on the
Now I'm
matchup.
sitting up here on defense watching the ISO ball.
You're taking it different. Like
No.
I'm not saying it's harder. I'm saying it's harder for your tendons on the body than it is. Like
I think it's
that
harder
that
on
was
our
probably a
bodies.
harder.
The defense is
mentally,
harder to play.
mentally and physically, I think it was harder than like to actually do it. But
Paul's
like,
saying these guys aren't tough enough to play 75 games. Is
When
like,
we ran through the middle of the paint, you was getting hit. You was gonna get hit.
yeah, you was. You,
You
getting
was gonna
tagged.
get
That's what I'm
hit
saying.
way more.
But you was also playing half court set more, so it's more stagnant.
bro,
like,
it's
it's
more getting
way
hit.
more
Pin downs.
stagnant, bro. Way
was-
less
it was-
movement.
So again,
It's more getting hit, though.
would you rather get the bruises of muscle bruises or tendon? Like that's the difference.
Why are we getting tendon bruises?
Because they're
we're
running.
not conditioned. Because we're not
Maybe so.
practicing every day.
Maybe so. I agree with that.
Practice
I-
every.
That's another thing. You got these, and I blame LeBron James for this. You got these or new era athletes. Oh, I'm gonna sit out for this game. I'm gonna sit out for this game. I'm gonna sit out for this game, just so I won't run my mileage for the longevity of it. Come on, bro. Back then, everybody was practicing every day, bro. You were playing every game. You wanted to play every game. You understand? You wanted to be there. You wanted to face that team. Oh, I've been looking for this motherfucker. You understand? Now it's more like, oh yeah, but yeah, we lost, but I caught a triple double. Double double. You see my rebounds? And it's like, what? Bro, did you win? No, you didn't win. It's more a selfish game now.
Day,
I,
so
I agree with
we
that.
like you heard the term when you was growing up, practice how you play. Well, you're playing and not practicing.
And they're going not even
And
at
now
game speed.
you're
Yeah.
hamstring. Why is there more hamstrings? Because you're not practicing
I
how you
think it's
play.
just over. I think it's overused.
Now, I'll say this about LeBron's perspective. He's kind of one of the players that I'll say is more in both eras, right? Like he's had a 20-something year career. When he came in 2003, it still was a tough era. Remember, he had to play those Pistons teams with Chauncey Billups, Ben Wallace, and all those guys. He played against the Spurs team with Bruce Bowen, very physical team, and made it really hard for Cleveland in that first finals appearance. LeBron led them to. So he has a perspective from both angles of this. I wonder though if he played his prime years in this current era, would he feel like it was easier? Maybe right, but when you're young and spry, some things don't feel as hard as it feels when you get up there.
Exactly. That's another thing. He's over here. He comes in the era where things were changing drastically, right? Now there was no bad boys. There was no, it's ending. That era is ending. They're making it more of a finesse game, you know? And you didn't get to see that era where it was physical, like really physical. Like dudes will have a fight and all they'll do is get a fine. You understand? Dudes are straight headbutting dudes. And I know what you're saying. I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna say, yeah, but that's wrestling. But we're not talking about what it was. We're talking about the physicality of it.
A little bit in age. That's the only reason I'm asking that. Paul Pierce, he was when this era started to come in, it started to change. He was on the back half of his career at that point. I know they did win that one title in the late 2000s, '09 Boston, but everything in the 2010s, pretty much after 1 or 2 years removed from that title, Paul Pierce was towards the end of his heyday because he played some, in the '90s and the 2000s. So uh, his perspective on that would be different. But it's something to say if you got to defend your man, fight over the screens. If you guarding Reggie Miller and you not switching everything, you running through those Davis boys screens. You get hit, you get past Antonio.
Exactly. And now the build on the players back then and the build on the players today is very different. Build on the players back then, they were bigger, stronger. They couldn't move as fast as the players now, but they were stronger. So a pick will be real physical. It was like you hitting a brick wall. Nowadays, with the pick, the person comes, gives the pick, and also falls. Both people fall. Some weak shit going on.
Davis screen, then you run right into the Dale Davis screen. Like that'll tire you out, bruise you up, and hurt you over time too. But that's not. If Danny Green is talking about the lower extremities, yes, I do think playing at that tempo. That's why you do want to slow it down. You're seeing a lot of cramping with the way the game's played now. Um, and it concerns me for if you look at somebody, even to take this conversation off of what LeBron's saying, if you look at somebody like Darren Peterson, that concerns me a little bit. I know some of the mocks got Indiana getting the first pick and him going up there playing that pace that Tyrese Halliburton sets for them with the cramping issues he has. I'm a little concerned about that for him. I ain't gonna lie, but I do think
I got concerns for the big boys that are coming in. You understand? The big tall dudes, skinny dudes, that's not good for them. You know why? Because the 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 skinny boys, the skinny long dudes, they be they're real fragile with their bones, you know? Let me see if Kevin Garnett says something. Let me see. Let's see if Kevin Garnett says something. Okay, here we go. Here we go.
Welcome back to NBA Cinema, guys. So look, we got to talk about this as LeBron James started a conversation, has a lot of people riled up online, either defending him or going against what he said. You know, he said that it was easier to play 82 full games regular season in the 80s and 90s than it is now, and he cites tempo. Now, one thing I want to say is there was faster tempo ball, you know, if you go back and look at the 80s, and it had a little bit of a slowdown during the 90s period, you know, the way the game was played.
I mean, yeah, of course. But I want to see what KG had to say.
It's not really much of a, you don't really see that as much now because the game is so spread open, it's so much pace. But now you see the new high ankle sprain is the calf.
Right.
You know, so, you know, hopefully we could get a handle on that from a medical standpoint. But it's just a game. I just want the fans to understand that the game is a little different. And, you know, as NBA players, we're definitely, we definitely want to be out there as much.
Some of the trainers were talking about the lack of calf raises for some of the players to end their workout. Bro, we used to end a workout, especially on a leg day, calf raises. This is how I'm speeding up, this is how I'm stopping, this is my whole wiggle. If your calves ain't here. And on top of, whenever I go to finish, I gotta be athletic enough to finish, right? Bro, when you start breaking that down, like this is what Ticket talking about that they out of shape. We practiced every day. We went up and down every day. Like a game. Like a game. So we 5-on-5 pretty much the whole season. With drills. With drills. And so now they come in and they doing a lot of individual work. With a trainer. You know, so a lot of our shit was game speed. Right. With a trainer. And then in the
You see what I mean? That's what I'm saying. These dudes is over here with a trainer. Everybody's separate on some diva shit. Like it's so cute. Some cute shit. These dudes back in the days, they were running drills, playing 5-on-5s, straight like competition, like and working out every day. Yo, you miss practice, you couldn't play. What happened to Allen Iverson? He didn't want to come to practice. He couldn't play. He got benched. You understand? But nowadays, you LeBron and you don't want to play, you just don't play. How the fuck is that?
summer. At half speed.
Right.
For 30 minutes.
Right.
And then they're gonna go play a 2-hour fucking game and think they gonna play.
In the summer, we played ball.
Ball,
Like, we
hard.
played 5-on-5.
For 7 hours.
In the summer, they individual work every day.
For 30 minutes. With one trainer.
Yeah.
And think that's gonna be the same shit. Like, what are we talking
it
about
ain't
here?
the same.
Bro, motherfucker do a whole workout an hour by himself. I come in here, it's 5 niggas in one workout doing 30 minutes. Bro, this
Yeah.
is not the same shit, bro.
No.
Then he gonna go run Red Mountain and try to kill himself.
Yeah, that's why I wanted
Come
to
on,
bring
man.
up. Ticket, you had a pretty, memorable.
I gotta guard a Tracy McGrady. I gotta guard a real nigga in fourth quarter and I'm tired of my legs done. How do I simulate that? I gotta go play against people like this, and then I gotta take my body and try to kill it. Because when you, listen, I'm gonna tell you something. This is what them motherfuckers don't tell you about game 4 or game 5 or game 7.
Ooh, cook.
When you in mud and they come down to LO and they call the triangle, you gotta stop LO from Lloyd, and I'm stuck in mud and my legs ain't even, and then, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then I get to the huddle and 3-4 niggas is falling out. Motherfuckers don't wanna play no more. Like, bro, you can't simulate this. This is the foxhole you in. So you try to put yourself in simulate. He would go to, what's the dunes you go to?
Oh, yeah, the dunes over there in Manhattan Beach.
I'm going to the opposite dune where it look like a whole mountain.
Yeah.
He doing that when I'm doing this one. We both talking shit about what it take to get to the top. He talking about how he threw up. I talking about how I threw up coming down. He threw up on the way up. Like, Lord, who training like this? And why y'all training like that? Guess what? We get to the fourth quarter, we looking fresh.
Yeah, it's a different training. Dudes is really training, like training hard, like it's for war. You understand? Because I feel like once you in that court, it's a battle, right? But it's not only a chess match, it's also a war because is a physical war too. You understand? Yeah, you say play chess, not checkers, but sometimes you gotta play the checkers. What if at the end, fourth quarter, you stuck in mud and you gotta play checkers? You understand? That's what happens. These athletes nowadays, they're too conditioned. They too baby conditioned. The physicality of back then and the way they worked out, the way they trained, the way they had to have their bodies built for game 4, last 4 minutes. Come on, man. Stop playing, B. That's why you can't tell me LeBron is better than Jordan, bro.
We dapping, yeah, nigga. You remember that?
Right.
Yo, what you nigga, let's get him in. Like, yo, I'm talking about, you feel what I'm saying? So that's what we doing.
So LeBron says it's the tempo that's causing the injuries. Kevin Garnett says the guys just aren't working out hard enough. They're not putting their body through it to be ready to withstand such a long season, to withstand a postseason if you're lucky enough to make it. And definitely not in those later rounds where, it's getting more physical, teams figuring you out. You know what I'm saying? So I'll say that, tempo can contribute if you haven't built your body to a point to withstand it, right? You can really see your body start to break down. But also, I would say that that's irrelevant when you start talking about, look at all the basketball Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and those guys played, man. It wouldn't matter if the game was a little slower tempoed or not. If you're going to win, play 82 games, right? Win in three-peat fashion, and then go to the dream team, and play in those Olympics. That's a lot of basketball to be played. To play,
Exactly. That's a lot of basketball being played. That's a lot of basketball. You understand what I'm saying? That's a lot of basketball. I feel that they played enough that any player from today, the way they condition today, will play back then, wouldn't last 5 games. 5 games, bro. The toughest player from today wouldn't last half a season. Why? Because of the way they condition themselves today. Like Kevin Garnett said, their own private trainer. Nobody's, it's not a team thing. It's like everybody's just, you know, divas, a bunch of divas. Nah, bro. Back then, it was the coach, drills. Dudes who play a 5-on-5, killing each other. And go out on the weekend and do pickup games and all types of shit. Dudes was fucking balling, bro, back then. Nowadays, it's all about social media, B. With that, I'm gonna leave you. Let me know what you think in the comments. Who you think, what era do you think is better? And will the players from today survive in the era back then? Or will the players from back then survive in the era today? Who will adapt better? And with that, I'm gonna leave you. Make sure you like, subscribe. Until next time. Peace.